Hello everyone, this is Whitney Will from Star Hearth Astrology, and I'm here today to talk about the Taurus new moon. So the Taurus new moon happened on May 11th. We had the sun and the moon come together and bring us from the waning phase of the moon into the waxing phase and into a new lunar month. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about kind of the intricacies of that, where the main plot points are, how it falls in the current astrology, and what we can be looking for in the next 2 weeks, and how we can really savor the time of the Taurus new moon before we head into eclipse season on May 26th. So, thanks for being here. So I'm a little bit discombobulated because we just moved. So I'm in my new space, and it's just perfect for a new moon in my 4th house. But it's making me think of, right, all the ways in which the Taurus new moon wants us to ground, wants us to feel settled, wants us to feel like our bodies are comfortable, and how the past few years of Uranus and Taurus is really kind of, we bump up against what's foreign or where we feel restless in those spaces. And so they're not quite as comfortable or quite as grounded or quite as connected to a sense of stasis and stability. So there's a little bit of that going on. I think what we also have with this particular new moon is yesterday Mars and Chiron perfected a square. So we've got kind of our will to move forward, make decisions, assert ourselves, coming up against the wound, but also the medicine. And I think this is really, I think we have more of the medicine just based on the astrology, because Chiron is ruled by Mars in Aries. Mars is in Cancer, ruled by the moon is exalted in Taurus. So basically, there's some good conditions for getting things right. But now that doesn't mean that the medicine doesn't need to be communicated or come to the surface, and there can be some conflict associated with that. So because that is in the chart of the moment of the full moon or of the new moon, we might see it come up over the next couple of weeks. Things that need to be communicated, boundaries especially that need to be asserted, may at first have people feeling so rejected, but ultimately it's the medicine. Chiron can be really sensitive to rejection. And we might feel like by choosing ourselves, and prioritizing ourselves, we might get rejected. And we might. Mars is in Cancer in this insular group, when we're breaking the rules of the group for the sake of our individuality. Aries. Sometimes Mars is going to say, you can't sit with us anymore. And the medicine is going to be not sitting with them anymore. So if we just come from a really wholehearted place in those decisions and choose what we're working towards, rather than trying to destroy or run away from something, then we have the support to move forward with them. Now, I think we don't want to go too crazy, because really the message that I think this new moon brings more than anything is pace yourself. And that means, right, in all the things that we're trying to accomplish and everything that we've been working on so far, are you taking enough rest? Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating enough? Are your basic needs being met? Are there places that you can go to feel safe? Places that you can go to rest? because the next 2 weeks are kind of a gift in 2021's astrology. And I think it's really important that we accept that gift, because we're coming from 2 very martial lunations. So we had an Aries new moon with Venus square Pluto on April 11th. And then we had a Scorpio full moon opposite Uranus. So Scorpio and Aries are Mars's signs. There was a lot of volatility in both of those lunations. So we're kind of coming off of a really high stakes month. And we are heading into eclipse season next. So the next 2 lunations, the next Sagittarius full moon at the end of May and the Gemini new moon in the middle of June, are eclipsed lunations. So that means that they can feel a little bit more intense. They can have a little bit more of an effect. They're kind of supercharged full moons and new moons, which means they are really potent at helping us end certain things and begin other things. But they can also feel like they have kind of like this fated sense and this weight of fate as part of them. And so we kind of have this sweet Taurus island of a new moon to rest, to gather supplies before we head into eclipse season, to really connect and ground what we're trying to do, to plant a garden that's going to be a space of solace and grounding through quite a crazy Gemini season. So that's kind of my practical tip. Plant something, start some seeds. The waxing moon will help them grow, and this will be a really sweet time to let yourself do a simple task with your hands that connects you to the world around you, because that's really what the moon does. That's the function of the moon. Is the moon kind of knits us into our environment, attaches us in our relationships, creates a space for our bodies to be in the world, and kind of make us a participant rather than the individuality of the sun and the desire of the sun to be this one thing. The moon is very sticky and wants us to be connected, wants the outer world to inform the inner world and vice versa. So that's kind of the gifts that she gives us. And so that's a great way to use this sweet time of the Taurus new moon. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology in the next couple weeks and why I'm saying that the next couple weeks are such a sweet time. So we've had other nice lunations. We will have more again. So that's not the whole of it. The other piece is that Jupiter on Thursday goes into Pisces. And for the past 2 years, we've had Jupiter in signs that are ruled by Saturn. And Saturn has really put a damper on what Jupiter has been able to provide for us. So Jupiter going back into a sign of his rulership everyone take a drink. Jupiter's going into a water sign, is really a rising tide that lifts all boats. And so there's going to be buoyancy. There's going to be fully the return of hope and the faith that things will work out and turn out okay. And I think that's going to be kind of a universal experience. We have Jupiter in Pisces for 2.5 months. So from May 13th until July 28th, Jupiter is going to be in Pisces. So we get this sweet little kind of extended time with Jupiter in Pisces, and then it will go back and finish up its time in Aquarius. So right now, while we have Mercury still going direct, very happy in Gemini, and before eclipse season and before Jupiter goes retrograde, we kind of have the cleanest version of Jupiter in Pisces, kind of restoring that sense of abundance and connection and aliveness. So I think that will be really sweet. We also have Venus kind of increasing in volume. So we've had, back in March, we had Mars conjoin the North Node. Last week we had Mercury conjoin the North Node. Oh, sorry, on Monday. We had Mercury conjoin the North Node, kind of reaching that peak of frenetic Gemini energy, and now grounding down on Wednesday the 12th with a trine to Saturn. So hopefully Mercury is doing some grounding exercises. And they're mercurial parts of your life. So the exchange of ideas, communication, money, commerce, the kind of the marketplace is Mercury and Gemini. So hopefully that trine to Saturn is really kind of focusing it, because when it went into Gemini, that was pretty frenetic. But we have Venus going to conjoin the North Node. So we have an amplification of Venusian themes. So that may mean, with Venus and Gemini, playfulness is on the up and up. Now, since people are vaccinated, you can have enough people in your house to play Catan. There is, an increase of connectivity. Now there can be, Venus in Gemini is a little bit of a tease. So it may not be like committing to new relationships, but the communication paths between relationships are opening up. And we're really supported in kind of approaching these, not with the kind of seriousness of things, but really kind of enjoying our social connections in a way that is fun and playful for people and not too heavy. On Monday, we could have a very fun weekend. The moon is in Cancer, so I think our Cancer moon this weekend is going to have a lot of tenderness to her. And so it probably won't get too crazy. I would take a bath to kind of honor being on the wings of the Taurus new moon and having a waxing Cancer moon. Take a bath, plant your garden. If you're interested in more eclipse season stuff, I am hosting a workshop with Tracy Rose of Salve of the Circle. We're going to do astrology talks and some card readings to kind of guide us into eclipse season and connect us with some kind of signposts as we move through those portals. So you can find that information on my website. The link will be in the description of the video. So I wish you a restful Taurus moon, and hope that you feed yourself well, literally and metaphorically. Bye.